everyone, I'm Connie Roberts. We're here at Chestnut Hill Nursery and Jim's celebrating 40 years of being in business. Let's go talk to him and see what it's all about. Hey Jim, you're celebrating
Connie.
40 years!
40 years, can you believe it?
That's awesome!
Great season, beautiful day, and believe it or not, we've been here for 40 years right here in Broadensville. It's just hard to believe it went that fast.
Well, let's find a place to sit down and talk about it.
Sounds good.
Well, Jim, everything looks so beautiful around here. All the
Isn't it
flowers
great?
are
We love
popping.
this time of the year, you know? We just
Yeah.
have so much color. The nursery is jam-packed with material. It's just great. So come on up here, Connie. This is a great little spot. We can sit down and talk for a little bit.
Okay. Let's talk about this. This is very impressive when someone walks in.
Isn't this great? I mean, we've got a pretty warm day today. The sun is nice and bright, but yet we have a little bit of this filtered shade. So we built this area for a specific purpose. We really wanted to try to get some of our client base excited about doing projects in their backyard. So several years ago, we came up with the concept of this raised patio. We have a built-in grill island here that actually works. We do grilling here every once in a while, and created this whole patio space and tried to incorporate. The whole concept and the idea is to get people to really feel comfortable and just to go out in the backyard, escape everything else that's going on in their life, and just sit down and enjoy. Take a half an hour out of a day, maybe make a little cocktail, listen to a little music, and just relax. So this was a way of showing folks how that's possible, how they can take this concept and put it in their yard. And then that's our job to get together with them when they're ready to do a project, and we can show them how we do it and how we can fit their budget and what they're trying to accomplish in that space. So let's have a seat here. We'll talk a little bit more. You want to sit over here?
Okay. Let's talk about, people used to take vacations because they wanted to get away from everything.
Right.
Now people are actually taking vacations in their backyards because you're making them so nice. People are coming, there's parties.
Right.
You've
probably heard the term, I mean, it's been overused, quite frankly, called staycation.
Yeah.
Okay. But the concept is real. And even over the last few years, when the economy gets a little more difficult and the way the housing market was, what we found was that most folks really decided, you know what, I really like my house, I like my yard, I'm not moving, I'm not selling. So they started to devote a lot more energy back into the yard again. So we built a lot of nice projects over the last few years, focused on that concept of be out there and enjoy your yard. Let's create a nice patio, let's create a shade space for you, let's create a grill island. Fire pit, another one that's very, very strong right now. And it became an area where they had the comfort of bringing their family and their friends over and just enjoying each other's company. And they love it. And we are very happy to be able to provide the design and the concept for them to be able to carry that out.
You've done many different designs. Let's the old saying, do one house at a time. How many have you done?
Well, 40 years, it's a lot of projects. I mean, it's hard for me to remember them all, to be honest with you. But each one of them has its own unique characteristics and the responsibility, but the relationship that we develop with the client is really kind of special to us. You know, many years ago, I like to say many years ago, 20 some odd years ago, we had upwards of 120 employees, and it was no fun anymore. And I started this business in 1977 because I really like being outside and I wanted to have fun outside and trying to bring some of the beauty to other people's yard. As the company grew, things got a little bit out of control in terms of being able to manage all those folks and all those relationships. And we decided to just scale back, let's make it fun again. And we scaled back to our original location here in Broadsville, and now we have one design build crew, we have one maintenance crew, and that's it. When we do a project for you, you own us when we're there. So when we come and we start your project, we're gonna be there from day one until at the very end when it's completed. And the only reason why we're not going to show up on any particular day would be because the weather is just not going to allow us to work. Right. But once we complete the project, we go to the next project. So we don't go jumping around. We have small crews. They get to know the clients very well. It's not uncommon for the clients to provide them with lunch and other things, perhaps, I don't really know. But it's, they develop a relationship with the client. Matter of fact, we're finishing up a job tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I just talked to the homeowner this morning. And she said, it's just going to be so strange not having you guys in my backyard. But that's the way we do it, and it's so much more rewarding both for us and for the client because it's a great finish in the end. They're really thrilled with the outcome. We're really happy because they're thrilled with the outcome. You know, that's really our ultimate goal.
So you've been doing landscaping for a really long time, and everybody knows you with that.
Right.
But let's talk about the garden center.
Sure. Well, we actually started out as a landscape company. In 1977, when I started the company, we were just doing landscaping. And then 2 years later, in 1979, we opened up the garden center here in Broadsville. And we've been here ever since. And it's interesting when I think back upon it now was when I started this here in this location, there was nothing here in Broadsville. They were all dairy farms across the street.
That's right.
You know, Kinsley's wasn't there, the ShopRite wasn't there, McDonald's wasn't in town, so it was a whole different place. And we started very small, and as the business grew and we got more and more customers, we started to expand the space and showcase many more plants and varieties and flowers and trees and things that people wanted to start planting in their yard. And it was great because they would come in, we would ask them to come up with some pictures, some dimensions, and we could help them out. If they weren't looking for us to do an install job for them, they could come to the garden center, go through our plant material, we can make suggestions, lay things out for them, and they can do the planting themselves. And there were a lot of folks who did that back then. You don't see too much of that anymore, that's changed. But our whole focus has always been to really offer very high quality materials at a fair and reasonable price. And so we know all of our growers personally. We don't buy from all over the country. We buy as local as we can. We have developed, again, those relationships with our growers. We know what they do well, what they don't do well, and we pick and choose between those growers. And we know we can stand behind the product, and we're offering an excellent product because we know who's growing them. It's not coming from some faraway place.
Now, has the plants evolved into something different than when you first started?
It's funny you ask that because we 20 years ago or more, there was a selection of plants that were staple items here. And you would see them all the time. You won't find them in the nursery here anymore for a couple of reasons. One is they lost their desirability with some of the clients, and also as the area grew and the deer population grew, it really started to create a lot of problems. So it really began to limit what people could be successful with on our property unless they were willing to take some means to keep the deer off. So we've constantly adjusted the selections that we offer here at the nursery to accommodate the deer issue, to accommodate the weather that we get in this area, particularly the winters. And also, as time goes on, a lot of the better nurseries now are developing better plants, you know, better characteristics in the plant to give you more color, longer bloom times, more reliable. And so we're always looking for new things that we can offer that will fit our locale. And so, yeah, the plants have changed. I mean, there's still a lot of staple stuff, but the plants have changed quite a bit.
I know, I just see more color, which excites me.
Well, everybody loves color. It's what everybody gets going. So we try to present it in the best way possible, try to, even when we do a landscape design or whether we try to sell some plants here at the nursery, always talking about the color. It's not just flowers. It could be the color in the foliage. It could be the texture of the plants. There's so many things that work in combination in a good landscape. And of course, there's a lot of great new varieties of flowers. We offer a very wide selection of the Proven Winners collections, and they just get better and better all the time and more reliable and easier to take care of. You know, everybody looking for maintenance free. There is no maintenance free, by the way. Everything requires some care, but we try to make it as easy as possible.
Coming up next, the evolution of landscaping products over the years.
First Northern Bank & Trust has deep roots in our community. Chartered 100 years ago, First Northern Bank & Trust has grown to 11 branches in the Poconos and Lehigh Valley. Longtime bank employees take pride and pleasure in providing a broad range of services to generations of customers. Today, First Northern Bank & Trust offers the latest in banking technology like remote deposits and online banking. For personal and business banking accounts and loans, contact First Northern Bank & Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Do you realize air conditioning systems normally account for 60% of a home's utility bill, and without maintenance, it can cost twice that? That's why you should have a precision tune-up on your air conditioner. The company I use guarantees their tune-up. If my summer utilities aren't $100 less this year, they'll refund the tune-up costs. And since tune-ups prevent breakdowns, summer repairs are discounted 25%.
Looking for plants you can trust to create a beautiful, easy to maintain garden? All you have to do is look for the Proven Winners name to know you're getting the most distinctive plants on the market. That's because Proven Winners partners with the top plant breeders around the world to ensure varieties that are vigorous, healthy, vibrant, and unique. Chestnut Hill Nursery Garden Center employees are Proven Winners certified. Go to provenwinners.com to learn more about what makes Proven Winners plants different from the rest. Proven Winners plants at Chestnut Hill Nursery, Route 209, Broadheadsville.
Welcome back to the show. We're here at Chestnut Hill Nursery and we're celebrating 40 years of
40
doing
years.
business.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We were talking about how the plants have changed, but let's talk about the products. People used to use those railroad ties,
Oh, geez,
and that's changed.
Now you give me flashbacks. Yeah, when we first started, we used to build all our retaining walls and our bed framing and stuff with the old creosote landscape timbers. And every time I say that word, my back gets a pain in it because that's how heavy they were. And we did a lot of projects with those timbers back in the day. They began to go out of favor for a lot of good reasons. And we moved into the treated timbers, so when the treated timbers first came back out, it's got to be 30 years ago now, we would buy the top quality landscape treated timber. And we were finding after about 6-7 years they were getting to rot already. So we got out of that, and now we do exclusively just block retaining walls, segmental type retaining walls is what they're called, and of course the pavers and stuff. Initially, we used to do a lot of brick paving. We used to do a lot of flagstone paving. Both of those products require a lot of maintenance. They move around a lot. They just, particularly with the freeze-thaw cycles that we get here in the Poconos, became a real issue. So we got away from those, and now we're into exclusively pretty much the segmental retaining wall block and the concrete pavers. A little limited in what was available back then, but now there's so many choices of colors and textures and styles that we can match any landscape whatsoever with several brands of really high quality pavers and wall block that are going to last a lifetime as long as they're installed properly. And that's where the big failure point is most cases. If you don't, I tell people all the time, you can have a beautiful home, but if you don't have a good solid foundation, the home's not going to stand.
Right.
It's the same thing with pavers or with retaining wall block. So, we go the extra mile. We have a tendency to overbuild everything because we don't like to have to go back and do repairs, nor would you want to call us to do that. We'd rather come back and do a new project for you. So we really built things to last. And it's been interesting because as the years go by and these new products come out, it gives us a lot more flexibility on how we can get more creative in our designs and offer products that you wouldn't have thought about 10 years ago. So it makes for a lot of fun. And then we're also doing a lot of custom work, whether it's grill islands. We do a fantastic job with landscape lighting, which is just opens up a whole nother aura at the end of the day when you can come out and the sun goes down and you just create this atmosphere in your yard that you can't even imagine until you sit there and enjoy it. Yeah. We're working with a brand new line of products now from Coastal Source, which is very, very good quality. Matter of fact, if we install the project, it has a lifetime warranty. That's how good it is.
Wow.
And we're also getting into outdoor audio, because again, you want to be out there and enjoy that space. And when you crank up that audio, you just want to drift away into another zone. And that's what happens. So there's a lot of things constantly changing. We're always trying to keep up with the changes and see what else would be appropriate in the designs that we do and in our locale, and be able to offer those to our clients as we move forward on other projects.
Jim, why don't we talk about maintenance of everything that you do for people?
Good idea. So everything we do, remember, we're outside. Everything we do is outside and is exposed to all the elements that we get here, okay? So everything requires some sort of maintenance. We never used to have a maintenance division in terms of bed maintenance on the landscape. We used to just do the installs and move on to another project. What we found is we would go back to a project several years later and it really didn't look like it should have looked because they just didn't maintain the landscaping. So we decided a number of years ago to offer up maintenance services, not only just for our clients we've done projects for, but also we opened it up to others who need a professional maintenance crew to come in there, prune, fertilize, weed the beds, put mulch in, do small plantings, that kind of thing. We don't mow lawns or anything like that, but what we're all about is really just maintaining the planting beds. So that's really done very well. We have a lot of customers where we go on an annual basis, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a season. We can do small flower plantings, that kind of stuff. And again, it's the same crew all the time. They get to know these guys. So it really works out nice. And the beauty of it is we're keeping their landscape looking really good.
Right.
I just went on a call just last night, as a matter of fact, that hadn't been touched in 4 or 5 years since it was installed. And it was a mess. And so it's going to take quite a bit to get it back to where it should have been if they had only maintained it all along the way.
Sometimes people don't know how to do that.
That's true, and we do offer handouts, and we try to educate them if they're going to do it themselves, or they should hire a professional to come in once in a while and maintain it. It's really important. You're making an investment in this project. If you don't maintain it, that's on you, really. And even when you talk about the concrete pavers, okay, so it's concrete pavers, people have always thought or under the impression that, oh, you put those down and forget about them, they'll last a lifetime. Well, structurally, the product will last, probably a lifetime or more, but they still need maintenance. So what we decided to do, probably now 12 years ago, we started doing cleaning and sealing of the concrete pavers specifically for our client base. And we developed a whole system now that we've turned into a brand new company called the Paver Savers. And those guys, that crew, that team, that's all they do is clean, seal, and restore concrete pavers and steps and walls and that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, we get to see a lot of awful work out there because most of the projects they're working on are not projects we built. There are other projects in the area. But again, most homeowners were under the impression that they didn't really have to do anything because they were never educated accordingly. The block manufacturers never talked about it. The installer never talked about it. And so they left it go, and now they've got weeds and moss and discoloration and fading and areas that have settled. So we come in as the Paver Savers and we make that all right again and make it better than new, honestly, when we're done. And they're thrilled with the results. It's great. So again, everything has an evolution. So we started out just as a landscape company. We opened up the garden center. Then we realized we needed to have a maintenance division, so we did the maintenance. And now we have the Paver Savers as this other standalone company. And it's all evolving because our entire goal is to make you successful in your yard. We want you to go out there, enjoy the space, not have to worry about stuff. There are areas, I can tell you, projects we went into look as a Paver Saver project, and people were embarrassed to take me out in their yard. That's how bad it looked. It shouldn't be that way. That's for you. Maintain it. Get some help if you need it, but keep it up. You've made a great investment, and we just want to see you enjoy it. So the maintenance is very, very important.
You make a lot of people happy around here.
We try.
I think you do.
Up next, new trends in gardening.
Joining me now is Kevin Barry of KMP Plumbing and Electric, and we're talking air conditioning. I see you put a new system here in this new home.
Yes, we put in a tap-in IQ drive system. It is a system that's a hybrid between a heat pump and a gas furnace. What basically it does is it's 98% efficient equipment with 25 SEER equipment outside on the condenser. What that means is your energy efficiency rate is very high and your usage is very low. So you're basically not using a lot of gas with this, and you're not throwing a bunch of money out the window and unused resources.
So why did you put a new system in here for them?
The system that they had was outdated. Their energy bills were very high. It was averaging anywhere from $600 to $800 a month for them to run the system. So it was basically, outpricing the house.
So Kevin, what are some of the features with this unit?
It's a fully modulating gas furnace, which runs anywhere from 50% to 100% of its capacity, and as low as 15%. And every 60 seconds through the thermostat upstairs, it analyzes the indoor air temperature and then modulates accordingly. So it's not running at 100% capacity all the time. So it actually learns from the customer on your usages and then adjusts the house comfort levels accordingly.
Now, you have something with this system that's a dehumidifier?
Yeah, you can actually use a dehumidification program in the system through the thermostat also. And what that allows you to do is dehumidify the house out and actually bring a better indoor air quality to them.
Now you also have a UV light.
Yeah, there's a UV light that we installed on the back side of it, which also helps with the indoor air quality as far as animals, pet dander, bacteria, and mold. that's in the ductwork or being pushed through the system. So if somebody's allergic to, mold and different things along that line, the UV light will help eliminate that, so the quality is better for them.
Kevin, why should someone consider having a tap-in hybrid system?
With the energy efficient performance and durable construction, the system is a great option for a homeowner. The heating and cooling package system contains features that give the ability to provide the greatest amount of whole house comfort. An example being the variable speed motor, and the unit provides dehumidification assistance and more even temperatures throughout the whole house with air quality.
Kevin, if people want more information about this system and more, what should we tell them?
They can contact us at 570-460-0111, or they can go on the web and get us at kmbplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking about 40 years of Chestnut Hill Nursery being in business.
Yep.
I actually was walking around and I saw a lot of beautiful plants in pots.
Yeah, well, container gardening, that's a whole nother thing that's really taken off in the last few years. And it's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of the last piece of the puzzle when you're creating a whole scene in a landscape. But the beauty of it is that you can shop for your favorite container, your favorite color of a container, and play around with the plants. You can do flowering plants, you can do evergreens, you can do grasses in there. And if you don't like it this season, next season you do something totally different. So, we can take containers, and we offer a selection of containers already planted up, or you can buy the pots here and mix and match the plants. The girls can help her out, to try to choose the right selections. And just have some fun with it. And the nice thing about it too is, particularly if you're in an area where there's deer, okay? And if you've got an elevated deck or an elevated patio where the deer don't typically come up on, it gives you the opportunity to get a little more creative with some color and with flowers that aren't going to be disturbed by the deer. But more than anything, it's very whimsical, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to draw pockets of color in a patio or around a deck, or sometimes in the front porch of the house. It's very inviting. So the container gardens have really taken off. We do a lot with that now. A lot of our landscape clients, we actually go in on a seasonal basis and do those gardens for them.
Well, Tracy does it for me, and it's lots of fun. It's always a new color theme. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a nice finishing touch.
It's a great finishing touch.
Jim, when we were walking in earlier, I saw so many beautiful plants.
Yeah.
Why don't we go take a look at them?
That's a good idea. Let's go walk. So here's the thing, you got to keep in mind that when we're doing a landscape, you have basic foundation plantings that typically you go up against the back of the house or the front of the house. Then you do some color plantings in front of that, and then you can always add color with perennials or annuals. So you use a combination of evergreens. We have all sorts of evergreens to choose from. We have flowering shrubs, flowering plants, and we also have a lot of shrubs that have color just in their leaf structure. So we have different colored barberries and spirea, all those things that are going to pop color into the landscape. Because the thing with flowers, if you have a flowering shrub, it's only going to bloom for a limited bloom time anyway. So at least with the foliage, you're going to get some extended color.
Right.
You can add things in with roses. We're doing a lot now with some of the shrub type roses, which are really great. There's some new azaleas that are ever blooming.
Oh, nice.
Sensational azaleas, our encores are great pieces. So there's all kinds of stuff we can do with that. And then of course you also have perennials. Now perennials, just for the folks at home, you got to remember this one. Perennials are plants that die down to the winter, at the ground to the winter, and they come back every year.
Right.
So you do not have to replant them. Although most perennials need to be dug up and divided after 3 or 4 years. As opposed to annuals literally you have to plant them every year. They're going to die off and you have to put new plants in. So, but using a combination of evergreens, foundation plants, color plants, flowering plants, perennials, and there's so many perennials to choose from. And of course annuals. You have a wide spectrum of colors and heights to choose from. Those combinations coming together is what creates that exciting landscape. And of course the staff here at the Garden Center, the girls can really help you with those products, what goes with what. Sometimes we literally take the plants and lay them out as if it was the front of the house so they can see what the combination looks like together. It just works out nice, and they're a lot more comfortable. Not only that, but we're going to give them planting instructions, tell them how to fertilize, how to water, how to prune, how to take care of the plant, because again, there's always that maintenance. But it's a lot of fun because sometimes we'll have people come here regularly and spend hours at a time in here. Just, you can see their mind going, where can I put this? Where can I put that? And it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Still ahead, a final look at the last 40 years.
Hi, I'm Jim Connie, and now that you've seen the work we do, don't you think it's time to transform your yard into that magical place you've dreamed of? At Chestnut Hill Nursery, we can create a landscape for the way you live. Whether you're looking for a simple walkway, an elegant outdoor kitchen, or maybe you just want to spruce up your existing landscape, we can help you get there. It's your yard, so dream big or keep it simple, we can create a design just for you. What are you waiting for? This is the best time of all to start planning your dream landscape.
Every day, our technicians head out to homes and businesses to work on plumbing, heating, and cooling systems. You'll find us in your neighborhood, servicing your existing heating and cooling units or installing new ones, taking care of your plumbing emergencies or upgrading your existing system. RJ Groner offers peace of mind. We serve all of Northeast Pennsylvania. We're available 24/7 for quick emergency service. RJ Groner, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This time, do it right.
First Northern Bank and Trust has deep roots in our community. Chartered 100 years ago, First Northern Bank and Trust has grown to 11 branches in the Poconos and Lehigh Valley. Longtime bank employees take pride and pleasure in providing a broad range of services to generations of customers. Today, First Northern Bank and Trust offers the latest in banking technology like remote deposits and online banking. For personal and business banking accounts and loans, contact First Northern Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Jim, I gotta congratulate you. 40 years, that's awesome.
Thank you, and it really is. And you know, I was just thinking about it the other day. 40 years, it goes by so quickly. I mean, I can remember basically the first day in operation here. And as I said earlier, this was a whole different community at the time. And we've been very involved with the community along the way, doing special events and getting involved with United Way and other features over the years. But I was thinking the other day that my youngest son, I have two boys, my youngest son is actually older now than when I started the business. And that was a little bizarre for me. I have two boys and they both worked in the business over the years. My younger son is working with us now. He actually runs the design build crew. And it was just kind of a little strange when you think about it and put things into perspective. But the beauty of it is that we're still enjoying it. I have, you know, when I tell people 40 years, they're going, well, when are you going to retire? And it's like, why would I retire? You know, it's just too much fun doing this. There are crazy days and things that happen all the time. Anytime you're in business, you have a lot to deal with. But the reality is I truly enjoy doing this. I love meeting with clients and going to their home and trying to solve problems for them. Trying to get them to express themselves and take that space and take their imagination and go beyond that so that they can really have a blast out there with their family and friends. So I'm just having too much fun to quit, and as much as my body tells me every once in a while to quit, it's just too much fun. You know, we're having a blast, so that's why I keep doing it. So you know where we're at. We're right here on Route 209 in Broadsville, and thank you. We are celebrating all season long, and thank you so much for supporting us over these last 40 years.
I know we still have lots of landscapes to do. Got to get our hands dirty.
Yeah, we got a lot of great projects we're working on.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here. Don't start, I might say that.
These things.
Deer. Was that what I said?
Did she not listen to you?
No. I knew what she meant.
All right, what am I saying? Both of us.
I'll do that. Hey, we're the monkey. Stop monkeying around.
Oh, thanks for watching. I forgot.